Are we rolling? Are we good to go? Okay. Well, thanks everyone for coming out. Thanks guys for having me. I don't know if we're going to keep this part. Should I do like an intro? No, you think? I feel like that'll just make the recording muddy. I'll sing loud. Okay. Well, I'm just going to do a quick thanks so much for having me on the podcast. I'm so excited to play some tunes. These are all unreleased, so this is the only place you can listen to them, which is kind of sweet. And yeah, here we go. The moment I met you, I knew there was something. Catching glances, drinking a bow from a can. I was already dreaming that one day I might play in your band. What if it's all in my head? Just like the people said. What if it's all in my head? A dream I can't put to bed. What if I packed up one day to just be with you instead? What if it's all in my head? Soon as the door closed, I thought you would be gone. Didn't realize how dark it was till you turned the light on. Now I can't stop thinking about how to get back in your arms. What if it's all in my head? Just like the people said. What if it's all in my head? A dream I can't put to bed. What if I packed up one day to just be with you instead? What if it's all in my? And it's a story of doomed from the start, wrong time and place, or anything but broken hearts. The thing about stories is one's gotta be ours. What if it's not in our heads? You're also feeling it. What if it's not in our heads? Not giving up just yet. What if it's not all in our heads? Just wish you would have said, forget about real life, come dream with me instead. What if it's not in our heads? Just like the people said. What if it's not in our heads? A dream I can't put to bed. What if I packed up one day to just be with you instead? What if it's not all in our heads? Aw, thanks. Hello, everyone. My name's Kayanna Wirtz, and this is another episode of the Sit Down podcast.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for having me. And I'm just going to go straight into another one because it kind of resolves that one for you. You keep telling me I'm smart, but if that were true, I'd have no words for you. Instead, I'm writing song after song, trying to tell myself ways we're wrong. Coming up empty-handed, you got me feeling nothing but splendid. Only thing that keeps getting me down you. I love the chair dancing. This is so cool getting to record in front of people. I feel like I'm very much appreciating all your energy. It's coming this way.
Hell yeah, thank you for coming out to our hometown of Bellevue, Saskatchewan.
Welcome, and welcome everybody here.
Welcome everybody.
Yes. Thanks
Heck
for
yeah,
coming
you guys.
as
Thank
well.
you guys for coming. For those of you at home watching or listening, Kayanna is an artist out of Prince Albert,
Or is it
Saskatchewan.
Kayanna?
Okay. We need we need to address this right out of the gate.
You know, this is why it's K, because there's too much debate out there at this point. I don't even know anymore. I don't want to be the judge that comes down with the ruling. I say Kayanna, but I've heard a lot of other things out there, and honestly, if you start something with a K, I will answer. Yep.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Okay.
Yes.
Mark, I think Mark knew the answer to that, but him and I have been having this debate for weeks.
I shouldn't have brought it up because you were right. That sucks.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
But yes, to go back, so Kayanna is out of Prince Albert, Saskatchewan. She's been dabbling in the music industry for a numerous amount of years here, and you're also a teacher, I believe.
Yes,
right?
I am.
In Prince Albert?
Yep.
Where in PA are you teaching?
Next year, I'm going to be at Holy Cross. It's elementary school, and I'm actually going to be teaching music, which is my jam, obviously. That's my thing. Sweet. So, yeah, pretty excited about that. But up until then, I was just kind of all over the place, subbing, doing whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, right on. And also one of the founders of Chesterfest, if you guys at home are familiar with that music festival. That's been a few years. You're one of the owners of that as well. Yeah, one of the co-owners of that thing, and it's not happening this year, but it's going to come back. We still love it, and it's a cool thing. Oh, man.
It is.
I think I missed, how many of those have there been?
There's been 3. Full-scale Chesterfest, but then also we did like lots of other little events. We did couch cabaret, and we did like a patio party and all kinds of stuff like that. But yeah, there's been 3 official large-scale Chesterfests.
Chesterfests, right?
I missed the last one, but I was at the couch cabaret for the second one.
Yes, and
that
was where we met. Was like the first Chesterfest, because you were one of the first sponsors to come on board right out of the gate when we launched the thing, and
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. How the Moose does it.
Yeah.
First one's out of the gate.
Roll.
I love it. I love it. I want to dive right into, I think you're an amazing artist. I truly do. I saw you performing in Prince Albert. You opened for Cupid's Heart. And for the life of me, I cannot remember the name of that venue.
Spice Trail.
Yes, Spice Trail. And it is my favorite restaurant. Shout out to the Spice Trail.
Yes.
If you're in PA and you need food, my favorite place to go as well. And it's super cool that they support live music, and they're putting on some little shows.
Freaking rights. I think Prince Albert needs more of those. Definitely.
Yep.
We were actually talking about that at lunch this evening, about how there isn't like
at lunch this evening. You
well,
and your dinner at afternoon. And
okay, I got to settle the score with this too. I say dinner for dinner.
No, you say dinner for lunch.
And I say supper.
Oh, yeah.
You just said lunch
meal.
for supper.
Well, because you keep bugging me about it, so I'm trying to like correct it on your behalf, but it's dinner
food
and
time.
supper.
It's all just food time.
Yeah, that's right.
Exactly.
At food
They're
time,
all important.
Something happened.
The reason I say that, is because of like I'm half French, right?
Oh yeah.
So it's dîner and souper.
Et souper, oui.
So to me, it makes more sense. It's dinner and supper.
Yeah.
But apparently my Dutch friend keeps telling me that I'm wrong on that. So.
You are.
Not wrong, just different.
And our American audience is also like, yeah, you're wrong on that. It's lunch.
I was like, do Americans say like supper, or is that a Canadian?
That's a Canadian
thing.
I think it's a French Canadian.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
I think supper is definitely a regional.
Yeah, definitely. What the hell was it? Oh yeah, we were saying how Prince Albert needs more venues to have like live music. There's Pabco, where Gary O was doing his thing there, and then there's this Spice Trail.
Yep.
Spice Trail and on Central
Rock Trout, which
used
to be, that's like way back. I've been doing stuff there for forever, and I love it when they do things now, but now it's just like a venue rental, which puts all of the onus on the artist to, get bar workers and bring all your sound in and all your stuff. It's basically just a
really?
spot you can rent now, which is still cool to have that, but
but
it just makes it better than nothing. Yeah, for sure. But it makes it a lot of work to put on a show there.
Better than nothing.
What do you mean?
7 Mile Sun used to be better than nothing. Anyway.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I didn't even know that. I didn't even know.
Yeah.
They only came on my radar as 7 Mile Sun.
Shout out. Anyway, what were we talking about?
Venues.
Venues.
Yeah.
Venues.
I think those are really the only
ones in PA. There's like, isn't there one underneath the library or something?
Oh yeah, there's like a little theater in there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you can do shows in there.
Right.
I've never actually played in there, but I've seen stuff before.
I've seen.
It reminds me of the.
Yes, I've seen LJ back in like the Nonsense days. I saw them play in there when I was like still in high school, and I was like, "Wow, this is so cool."
Freaking rights, he's crushing it.
Speaking of LJ, you're in his band.
I have snuck my way into another project.
Are you serious?
Yeah,
You're playing with LJ.
I am one of the locals. Yes, I am a permanent fixture on the roster now. I've got my bass. I'm the bassist in that project, and I've been in like the studio with him a little bit, like working on some stuff, and I'm so excited about, like, I have loved LJ's songs since high school. Like, I've been a huge fan, and so it's pretty cool to like get to play them, and some stuff that like I knew that he'd written that had never been released, and now we're playing it, and I'm like, like this, I remember this song from 5 years ago, and like now I'm a part of it, and it's super that's super cool. Yeah,
freaking rights.
Which other projects are you involved in?
I also play in the Great Fuss, which is out of Saskatoon. I'm their keys player, doing that, and then like little cover things here and there, whatever sort of stuff. It's summertime, so I'm a teacher. I don't have a real job right now. I'm just living the rock star life, playing gigs to get by.
Heck
so like the Bush Pies is the cover band that I play with the most. Yeah, they're still doing stuff every now and then.
Oh wow,
Bush Pies.
I remember that name from like a long
time
ago.
They've been around for a long time. So they used to be my teachers. This is how I met the Bush Pies. They were all teachers at St. Mary's when I was like in high school there, and then since then, like obviously I graduated, whatever. Joel got into the band, and then I was kind of like, oh, like all my teachers, and they're like, yeah, we need a female vocalist. You're in. So then I found myself playing with my former teachers, and it took me a long time to stop calling them, Mr. Germs and Mr. Earl. Now I can say John and Danny, and we're all good.
Nice.
Is that awkward? Because if I think of my teachers, I don't know if I would call them first names.
Yeah, it took a while. It took a while to like feel out that shift. Yeah. But suddenly when they're like drinking in your basement, it's like, okay, I think I can call you by your first name now if you're like drinking my beers out of my fridge in my basement. I think I've earned the right.
No, that's awesome. Holy crap, I haven't heard the Bush Pies in a long time. Yeah. For the American, how about you tell our American friends what a bush pie is?
Okay, yeah, because I get that a lot. That even like outside of Saskatchewan, people don't know what a bush pie is. Yeah,
like a bunny hug.
Yeah, like I like met some a band from Alberta. I was telling them about whatever thing, and they're like a bush pie. And I'm like, this is Alberta. I'm not even that far away. But bush pie is like, well, there's this little cast iron square thing with sticks on it that can go in the fire, like a hot dog stick, and you put bread, and then you can fill it with whatever you want. It could be just cheese. You could put like pizza fillings. I love a good dessert bush pie. Like I'm talking cream cheese and cherry pie filling. Sprinkle a little cinnamon and sugar before you close it up. Oh, it's great.
Yeah, and then you just kind of cook it over a fire. Get it toasted.
Get it on both sides. It's like a panini.
Earlier this week, my wife put a hamburger in there.
Oh, yeah.
And it stays nice and juicy.
Yeah, I bet. All those juices just soak into the bread.
Yeah, make little mini pizza things in there. Throw cheese and meat in there.
Yeah, or like a breakfast one, too, I've done where you put an egg and crumble up some sandwich meat and some little chopped onions, kind of like an omelet inside of toast.
We should bring our bush pie makers to Dog Patch.
Oh, yeah. Great festival food.
Possibly. Mm-hmm. I bet you somebody's gonna have some.
Someone's gonna have bush pies.
They're probably gonna be there already.
All right. Yeah, I just got. I figured I had to do this one. 'cause you'd sent me something about their album. Now it's stuck inside of my head, just like you in another life or some other time. I could know you for a little while in another life or some other time. I'd be yours and you could be mine, but it's just not right. Sleeping with my guitar again, waking up with songs about you swirling in my head, dreaming a little less these days, becoming more of just a haze in the coming winter gray. In another life or some other time, you could be the reason that I smile. In another life or some other time, I'd be yours and you could be mine, but it's just not right. Got a show coming and I think I might give it a try, though I'm scared out of my mind. Will there ever come a time when I don't have to be the bad guy in another life or some other time? You'd be there by my side in another life or some other time. I'd be yours and you could be mine. I could have sworn one of those nights you'd said that I'd wait years just for you to be mine. What if it's too much time? Feeling a little bad for missing your call again. Also a little glad, 'cause I don't wanna be bad. Left me a little sad. She seems pretty rad. I'm feeling a little bad. Oh, I thank ya. Thank you, thank you. Nice extra little like.
Give us a little origin story of like when you like
Yeah.
first.
When were
picked
you
up-
bored?
When was I born? Okay, well, I was
When
born
you
in
first picked up the guitar.
1996. And Dad was just telling a story because my parents came to watch me. Shout out to my biggest fans over there. he was just telling a story about how when I was a baby, apparently he would like strum chords just really soft to get me to fall asleep. And
I think you give him too much credit.
Yeah, so he's
because he strummed one chord.
Oh yeah, sorry, one chord, nice E, just over and over again until I was lulled to sleep. So I guess that must be the start of my music. But like as a kid, I took music lessons. Mom put me in piano to start with, so I did that till I was like, I don't know, 6 or 7 or 8 or something. And then it started to get where you had to do exams, and I was like, I'm not doing tests. I don't want to do tests in music. That doesn't sound fun. So I switched to guitar. And Rich McFarlane was my guitar teacher. He owns like Mosaic Music now in town. But I started with him when he was like still in his basement. It was kind of cool. And he had a little recording studio, and he would like record things of us every once in a while. And mostly I would just strum chords, and I was really stubborn. And he'd always be like, play with a pick. And I was like, no. And he was like, learn some scales. And I was like, no. I want to strum, and I want you to play all the lead stuff over top of it and make me sound good. And that's kind of still how I feel in some of the bands today. It's like, yeah, I want to hang out here and strum along with you guys, and you make me sound good.
Just so you can say you're in the band.
Yeah, just so I can say I'm a part of it. Yeah. But yeah, no, and then I kind of did music all through a little bit here and there. And then like after high school, I did like little open mics and stuff like that. And
in PA?
No, because there's no open mics in PA. No, like once I moved to Saskatoon for school, like after high school. And so I'd play like the Capitol had one at the time, and there's one at Finn McCool's. They still do. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's hosted by you guys now. It's actually way cooler now than it was when I would play it.
Now you're being full of shit.
Now I'm being a suck up. No, and my friend hosted one at Finn McCool's, and she actually still hosts. It's at Winston's now, and so I still play her open mic every once in a while. Yeah. But yeah, I kind of just got into it that way, and then my ex was in all the bands, and he was like, "Come along!" Like actually, the first like show I played with a band was we were on a camping trip, and we were just like meeting up with the band in Lloyd to play a couple of dates. Like they were playing like Lloyd, Edmonton, Calgary, and so we met up with them. And the first night, I just did sound. No, I opened because there was no opener, and they were like, "Well, you got your acoustic guitar. Like, do you want to just do some stuff before we play? We only have one set." And I was like, "Oh yeah, sure, whatever." So I just like went and played some little tunes, and then close to the end of their set, they're like, "Well, come on up and sing some harmonies." So I like sang some harmonies the first night, and then the second night they're like, "Okay, can you play like?" So I played like 3 songs the first night. The second night I played like half the set, and then the third night I was just like the whole set. I was up there the whole time. Nice. They gave me a tambourine. They're like, "You're gonna sing back up all night," and then from there on out I was just in all the bands.
Freaking alright. So on those 3 nights in particular, from like going into the second night where they're like, "Okay, do you want to come on stage and like do harmonies and stuff like that?"
Yeah.
Had you already knew the music, or did they like spring it on you a couple hours before, or like how much notice did you get?
Like I was around a lot of the music, so like I knew the songs already. Like I had seen them play already like a dozen times probably.
Right.
And we did have like the drive. I remember like sitting in the backseat middle because we were all piled into like one truck. So I'm sitting like backseat middle, and we're like running harmonies on the way to the show. It's like I got a little bit of a practice in there, but no, it was pretty like spur of the moment, like.
So how much anxiety kicks in when something like that happens for you? And does it still do that to this day?
Good. That's a really great question. When I'm like in a band setting, somehow I don't feel very anxious at all. Like I can get thrown into things and do pretty well with it. I had probably the most like stressed I've been at a show was like just like last week. I was playing one that just felt very unrehearsed, and it was a weird lineup of musicians. We had like a saxophone and drums and bass and me playing like keys or guitar. I was like switching between the two, and that was a little stressful. But like I don't usually get stressed when I'm in a group setting. By myself, different story. I feel a lot more anxious beforehand.
Right.
But
and understandably so.
Makes
like
sense, yeah.
Yeah.
I keep telling Mark like every Tuesday when we're hosting at the Capitol, like that 20 minutes before kickoff time, like and I'm not doing anything.
No,
I'm
but
just like,
you're
I'm going on. I'm just going on mic and shouting out a few sponsors at the top of the show. Like really, that's all I'm doing, and I'm just like sweating bullets already. So I could only imagine to have to be up there for like a full hour or even 45 minutes. How much anxiety would overwhelm a person.
If you're by yourself, because if you have a band.
As if you have a band, you can like banter, you can like work off of each other, and you know, like someone's gonna save you if you're crashing and burning. You know, like there's like.
It's comforting.
But when it's just you by yourself, it's it's a little more like.
For sure, because
I gotta hold this together. I gotta hold this down.
Yes, definitely. Like even Mark keeps laughing at me on Tuesdays. Because we'll both go up on the stage to like do the sponsors and welcome everybody.
Yeah.
And like he will be lucky to get 2 or 3 words in there, and I'm just like
I got them all.
saying everything right. And he's like, "Do I even need to go up there?"
And you're
and
like,
I'm
"Yes,
like,
I need
yes,
the support."
I need exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I tell him. I'm like, I need you there, so I'm more comfortable. So
Funny story about that. Mike, the bouncer, he was actually standing in the corner, and he was watching me. He was like.
Yeah, for counting how many words you got to say.
I got in, yeah.
How many words you got in there?
Yeah. So I totally get that.
Yeah, I tend to like settle in pretty quick too. Like the first little bit I'm anxious, but as soon as I'm like in it, I'm in it, and it's good.
Right. Yeah. So, okay, I've seen you perform solo twice now. This evening being one of those times.
Yeah.
Was there any of those emotions or feelings tonight? And also when I saw you at the Spice Trail there.
How for sure. That? Yeah, like you want to like my whole back is like sweaty right now. There's definitely some like nervous sweats happening over here. Yeah, I'm glad you had to ask the question because that means to me that it's not coming across super obviously that I'm like stressed out over here.
I actually told him like, hey, do you see her sweating?
Yeah. I specifically was like, what's a shirt that's like not gonna show sweat?
Right? That's why I wore white.
Yeah,
there you go.
When you go on stage and you're does it matter if it's a large crowd or a small crowd? Because I know some artists are like, well, if it's a small crowd, they're actually listening.
Right. Or to add to that, if it's people you know versus people you don't have a clue who they are.
You know, I feel like I've played so many things now. That sounds like I'm bragging. I play all the time, and like, it doesn't even really faze me. No, definitely, like, I'm a person that gets energy from the crowd. So, like, anything they're giving me, I'm loving. So if it's like a crowd that's attentive and like watching and listening and like obviously into it, like I'm eating that up, and that's calming my anxiety and making me feel good. But same thing with like if I'm in a huge crowd and everyone's like up and dancing, same thing. Like I'm feeding off that energy. Yep. So honestly, the toughest things for me to play are like the ones where like no one's really engaged, or where like we just played one on the riverbank in Saskatoon, and to start out with, everyone's just kind of like sitting eating their food like on the things, and it's hard to like get the show up and create all that energy on stage when you don't have any like crowd to pull from.
Yep.
But yeah, I'd say that's the toughest ones for me.
For sure. So would you have any words of advice for any artists who might be tuning in to this episode and who are going through that anxiety and that anxiousness early in the game, like, or in their careers? Would you have any thing to maybe
I would
help
just
them
say
out?
like people care a lot less about what you're doing than you think they do. So just like get up there and do it. And like if you're making a fool of yourself, you're probably judging yourself a lot harder than anyone else out there. And I always will like get off stage and I'm like, oh man, like I missed this and I missed that, and someone comes up and they're like, I loved, the intro of this song, and like they'll pick out the things that they liked way more than the mistakes that you're focusing on. So like just do it. Don't care what the people think.
I love that.
Yeah.
We had that conversation with the Hour Hand as well, and they're basically the same thing. Like when they get off stage, they focus on, well, I could have done this better. That sucked. I got to do that better.
Yeah.
And then someone shows up and says, that was great.
You're like,
okay then.
Okay.
All
like,
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd say you could dance if you want. It's a waltz. Told me about Mars and how you'd like to end up there one day, and about the stars. I was already thinking of you anyway. Tried for months to figure it out, but say something like make some good art, and I don't really know what I'm doing, 'cause I don't know if these are good songs, and I don't really know what I'm doing, 'cause you won't be there to catch me as I fall in love. Aw, thank you. Is that good? Perfect?
So you did the four songs.
Yes.
That's right. Yeah, we got an extra song for you
Yeah,
guys.
normally it's 3, and now we got 4.
I know. I threw 4 at ya.
Hell yeah.
So what are those
let's
about?
Let's talk about those.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, so they kind of all go together. I think one day they're going to be an EP. I'm sort of working on recording really slowly. I'm picking away at it. They're all about a person. If you didn't catch on, they're all little love songs, obviously. But yeah, just about like someone I met, and it was kind of like a little situation. And I honestly never like sat down and was like, I'm gonna write songs. I've just been really happy like playing other people's songs for forever. You know, I've like backed up people in original things. I play in a lot of cover projects. I never really was like, I am a songwriter. And then I don't know, I kind of had like a wild year. It's been like a crazy year of a lot of like self-discovery, a lot of like journaling, a lot of looking inward. And all of a sudden I was just kind of like, I just have these little like nuggets of songs, and I started like writing them on sticky notes and kind of like leaving them all around my house, and then they just sort of like gathered together, and I was like, oh, like this kind of goes with this and this and this, and then I sort of had this little EP all of a sudden. I was like, oh, I have like 4 songs that like feel like they go together really nicely and all kind of center around the same themes, and yeah.
So on those sticky notes, is it like, are they like music notes, like the melodies, or is it lyrics, like lines here and there?
I find that like music comes really easy to me. Like I'll just like noodle little melodies, I'll noodle little chord progressions, that kind of thing. I've never had like an issue writing. Lyrics, like I would never come up with good lyrics. I never liked anything that I wrote. So yeah, the lyrics are where I like struggle. So I've kind of found this method of just like, I'll just come up with like lines, or I'll be like, oh, I have a little tune in my head, and I'll be like, feeling a little bad, and then I'll just write that down, and then I'll just like walk by a sticky note on my wall 100 times. It says feeling a little bad, until all of a sudden I'm like, oh, I have another line that goes with that now, and like add it on. And yeah.
So it's kind of a puzzle over time that you put together.
Yeah, it's kind of like, if I think about it, if I sit down and I'm like, I'm gonna write a song, and then I'll like write it, and I'll be like, I hate all of this.
Right.
You know, but if I just kind of like let it happen and just kind of let it come to me, and then I'm like, wow, I actually really like this, and feels a lot more, I don't know.
Organic,
yeah.
For sure.
And when it comes to the recording, are you recording it at home, or?
Yeah, mostly I've got a little interface, and I'm just kind of like doing some tracking. I did some stuff with like a band with the guys from the Fuss. We just like jammed some of them live off the floor one day. So I also have those scratch tracks kind of kicking around that I'm like using bits and pieces from. But yeah, I'm doing it myself so far. I'm very, I think I was kind of spoiled in like, I used to have a recording studio in my basement, and I used to watch records get made. Yeah. And now I'm very like particular on, I'm like, oh, I want it to sound just like this, you know? Yeah. And so getting all those little pieces is now my struggle, my thing that I'm noticing is going to take a really long time to get it to sound what I know it could sound like in my head.
There's a misconception in how the whole process of creating music is out there. There's like some of my family even, like I've told them, oh, you know, so and so is going into the studio. I'm gonna go hang out with them, whatever, and observe and just kind of hang out. And I can be there for hours, and they're like, well, what took so friggin' long? Because
you're like, we didn't even get a
song's
track.
only 3 minutes long,
Yeah.
and it's
And
like,
they had the demo ready. What's
Yeah.
It's like you don't understand.
You don't
like,
understand.
They
They
did the
spent-
same
it's
2
a-
lines over and over for like.
Yeah, and
you
we
know.
EQ'd it differently, and we tried it with a different mic, and we tried it with different baffles, and like,
and then we layered it, and
yeah,
exactly,
totally.
So there's a lot of work that's involved that I've recently come to learn in recording a song
and
too.
honestly,
like, it's not just like
it's its own art form, and like I'm such an artist. I love to have my fingers in every single piece of the creative thing. So of course I don't just want to like waltz into a studio, play my song, have someone else record it and produce it. No, I want to know exactly what effects they're throwing on there. I'm like, oh, what if we like put a spring reverb on the vocal? Like that'll be really weird. Can we just try that and see what that sounds like? And and play
just
around with all the different
engaged
things.
in it.
Yeah,
definitely.
And I want to learn all the bits and pieces about it.
Heck yeah.
And this is why you should pay to go see shows, because that pays the artists to do stuff like this.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's the work that's behind the scenes that you guys don't see, that none of us get to see. It's not just them going on stage for an hour and asking for $5,000, let's say, for that hour. It's like, no, you're paying for all the work that they did to have that hour.
Yeah,
set,
you don't pay
right?
for the show, you pay for the practice they put in.
For the work
Yeah,
that was put in.
totally.
One of the aspects, for sure. Okay, so out of the EP that you're going to be recording, you clearly have the songs, we have them here.
Yeah.
Only here.
Yeah,
'Cause they're
only
nowhere else yet.
Exclusively
exclusively
here.
available on the
That-
Sit Down podcast.
That kind of makes me worried now. So when you do record that and release that, does that mean that we
Yeah.
have to edit that out and
No,
then
no, we
re-upload?
can
No.
we can claim the copyright.
Yeah, I was
for
gonna
it.
say, if
Yeah.
anything, I should be worried.
Well, just so that you're aware, if that happens and we do have to eliminate those out of there, that's not a problem.
It's all
We
yours.
will do that for sure.
No.
But has that process on recording begun, or are you just that early in the stages where not yet?
No, yeah, like I have demos of all of these in various stages. Some like in my head, the one that I started with. That one I have like pretty much a fully, like it's got keys and guitars and vocals and drums and everything. And now I'm just kind of like piecing together what I want the production to sound like. I have a couple ideas, like I kind of drop out at that one point. I really want to like add a lot in there to really emphasize that area of the song. I'm kind of doing all the nitpicky stuff on that one now. All the other ones are sort of at different stages. Some of them I've kind of done on my own, like the little waltz one I just did just by myself in my house, because it's really simple. I think it's just going to be like piano and guitar and me. And same, I have like kind of tracks of all that one, and now I'm just like fiddling around with the production, figuring out what I want it all to sound like. And I have this like dream of doing a kind of visual album to go with it. That's going to be, I've been taking little videos along the way as I've been recording. So I have all these little shots of me like in my house, like recording the guitar part in the shower or and I'm kind of like all over the place. So I want to sort of get all those together too. It's going to be a whole thing when
The
it comes
guitar
out.
part in the shower.
Yeah, because my shower sounds really cool. So I was like recording some acoustic guitar like in the shower.
It's so weird. I see so many artists in their bathtub.
Bathrooms have the
like
best
That's
acoustics.
right.
There's a small room with a lot of hard surfaces. You get like a really cool
A
ambient
stairwell
reverb.
of an apartment
Oh
building.
yeah,
Yeah,
also a really cool
Acoustics
spot.
in there
yeah,
are really great.
yeah.
a church.
Yes, that's a big room verb. Yeah,
Hell yeah.
yeah.
Sweet.
So you're you're doing all that work yourself as well.
Yeah, because I
Holy
just
smokes.
like to do projects.
No doubt. Do you ever get overwhelmed with all of that and just like, holy shit, what
Oh
am I
yeah,
doing?
and then like honestly, I haven't done much lately. Like mostly winter, I was doing a lot of recording stuff. Now I'm playing a lot, so I haven't done much. Like my June was crazy. I was like on tour and on the road and oh my god.
Rockstar.
So yeah, which is crazy, but super fun. It doesn't leave a lot of time for recording, so I feel like fall I'll like.
So
sink
when it
back
comes
into it.
to instruments you don't play, do you play drums?
I don't really, But I've been like playing around with them.
She's got a set in her basement.
I do.
I've seen them.
Do you hire someone to do that, or do you have friends from
so
the existing bands you're in?
Pretty much it's all been like friends playing on stuff so far, where I'm just kind of like, hey, and like I play in the Great Fuss, where Pete is multi-instrumentalist. He plays everything, so that's a really good help. And I did some recording with him as well in his studio, so like anything that I can't play, either him or someone else in the band can. And I'll be like, hey, why don't you just do a little thing after practice, real quick? I'm
thinking about you teaching music at Holy Cross here right now. Like
Holy Cross.
Holy Cross. What grade or grades are you going to be teaching?
Like grade 1, no, kindergarten. I think I get the K's for music all the way up to grade 6, because then they do or grade 5, and then they do band for 6, 7, 8. So they go to someone else for that.
I see a lot of ukulele in your future.
Yes, ukulele. They also have a whole class set of melodicas. Do you guys know?
I have
the melodica
no idea
is
what
like
that
the
is.
Little dinky piano with like this tube that comes out of it, and you blow into it, and it kind of sounds like an accordion, like another really annoying classroom music instrument. But I love them, and I found a whole class set in a cupboard, and I was like, I'm making a melodica band. I'm going to terrorize the school with them.
Frickin' right. Oh, that is awesome.
Yeah.
Is there like a curriculum for that, or is that something that you have to design yourself?
Well, no, like there's a provincial curriculum for music for those grades. So, like you have to learn your note names. You have to learn your...
So you have to teach these kids everything that you didn't enjoy learning when you were being taught music.
Yeah, and I have to find a way to do it that's fun, because I want to have fun with it. I don't want to make them hate music too.
Oh, that is awesome. Yeah. So good.
I think we should take it outside.
I think so too.
Yeah?
So
yeah,
this is the third time that we've been able to have artists come out to our town, and the Capitaine Restaurant here has graciously allowed us to do these here. At this point, right now, we're uncertain if we're doing it again. So if we don't, to close it out, what we're going to do is for the town, for the people who did not arrive here, we're going to actually set up Kayanna outside with the speakers, and we're like, just play it as loud as you want. So we're going to go hang out outside with the crowd we have here, and we're just going to see if we can
rally some
heads
people.
outside.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's going to be fun. Thanks,
Kay.
so much.
Thank you
for coming.
Yeah.
Right on. I also want to just mention that you are now part of the herd.
It's official.
As if you didn't know you weren't before, but this door is wide open for you. If there's any time you want to come promote any gigs you got coming up, or anything that you're doing, or just come and hang out with us for an hour, I want anytime. Just hit us up.
I would say when I have some stuff coming out, hopefully like in
Frickin'
winter, we'll have to chat again.
I love it. Yeah, because I'm going to want to know more about the process of putting it all together and releasing it and all that kind of stuff. I'm very interested in that, like I guess you would call that the business side of it, I guess.
Sure.
If you want to say that.
Yeah.
But it is a business, though.
It is. And
you have
honestly,
to look at it like a business.
That took me a long time in art in general, because my other career is art as well. And like switching my thinking from being like, this is something I just do for fun, to being like, no, like you got to value your time. You got to monetize it. You got to think of it like a business. Think about it as investments you make to reap, things later on. Like,
Agreed.
you definitely have to have a business mentality to make it work.
Yep.
Right and on.
With that.
All right, we're
see
going
you
outside. Thank you guys at home for tuning in. We'll see you guys next week. Thank you.